welcoming you to join us with 3 of 4 members of Lexington Down. Recently featured on G-Rock on the Punk Yard Sunday Nights with Pete. We were happy to get you on there. First, the album is Partial Possession Claim. Fabulous stuff that you heard on the Punk Yard just a little while ago, and now we have you into the studio, so we want to thank you guys for coming and joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've heard that album's really good.
I've heard, right? That's the buzz on the street. That's the buzz coming out on Sunday night.
There's a lot of internet bulletins going out that it's pretty good.
And readily available on the internet and on your shows and stuff, I'm sure, so that's good to remember too. We have, from my side down, it's Chris, Keith, Jerry. Dan is not with us today, right?
He is not with us today. Dan, unfortunately, we think that he's been kidnapped by our very own Owlhead Coalition. That's not to be confused with the Lexington Down.
Yes, exactly.
The Owlhead Coalition, that actually leads me to my first question for you, which would be, what is the Owlhead Coalition? It's the idea of just, it's a challenge to keep the buzz out there.
It's a group of the world's greatest people that just promote the heck out of our band just because they love it, and we love them for it. And we pretty much, they come to our shows, they go to other people's shows, they just spread the word about our owls and about our music, and they're great people. And they're pretty much just a coalition of people that love music like us.
With a very cool name.
Yes.
To go along with it. And part of that has become something I just noticed in looking at your website. There's a bunch of websites that you have posted, but what's the easiest one for people to find your information at?
We have like our MySpace /Lexington Down that has like everything that's going on, or LexingtonDown.com, Pure Volume /Lexington Down. We got them all. Yeah.
MySpace is probably the most up to date and probably the easiest to
everything.
contact us at. We're always on there, almost 24 hours a day, just talking to people and promoting and just generating interest to our site. So.
Cool. And MySpace would be the place that I saw one part of your street team, which is do-it-yourself merch. If you can explain what that is.
Yeah, totally. You come to any of our shows, and we totally tag up any article of clothing, grandmothers, cars, doesn't matter, anything, with an Owlhead Coalition stencil.
It's very cool too.
It's unique, one of a kind.
It looks really good. It shows up. It looks like a finished, polished piece of merch, because I saw some shirts. One of the girls at your show had the Owlhead logo on the side. It was like it was a tank top or something. But I think that's a really creative way to face the challenge. I mean, aside from album costs and trying to get studio time and all the other things that you have to balance as a rising band, the idea of putting money into merch and then worrying about that, this is just kind of keeping the costs down that way.
And like another thing is, like, people roll into shows, man, they just paid like $10 to roll into a show, and gas prices are high, so like they don't have money to buy your merch, but I want them to leave with something. So
right. And
I just spray paint them.
It's literally one of a kind, and it's just in that sense, it's like the value is endless. I think of something like that.
Yeah,
just
totally.
Like same design being cranked out.
Exactly. You put it wherever you want.
Not mass produced.
Yeah, it also hits a lot of people's curiosity as well. We're able to put something out there without our name attached to it right on the spot, so then people say, okay, what's that? And then they want to know more, and they want to know where they got it, and then that draws more attention. So it's just kind of a good way to put our name out there without putting our name out there, so to speak.
Lexington Down has the intrigue factor down to a T, then, is what it sounds like.
Oh yeah,
the music scene goes. Speaking of dates and shows and places where you can now bring you're probably putting your t-shirts and your sweatshirts together to bring them to a Lexington Down show now to get them all tagged up. Lots of things for people to come out and see you at. I know February 1st you have a show coming up down in Vineland, right?
Yeah, totally. Yep. Vineland's a pretty cool scene. There's a bunch of cool kids out there. So.
I was going to ask you about that really quickly too, because I mentioned it at least once before on G-Rock Rising. We have Vineland Music Festival, which is supposed to be coming August 8th through the 10th. First time we're getting one of these mass, 3-day music fest deals. Yeah, I mean, thousands of people kind of turning out to it. And you guys are no strangers to the Vineland scene, so how do you see something like that fitting in down there?
I think it'd be perfect. I think personally people come from all over just because it's like a 3-day festival. And plus that town is just full of like a music scene which has lasted like, I used to go there when I was in high school. And then kids from the high school still go to shows and make their own shows. So the scene just never died, and it just recreates, and they just find new venues, and That's the only thing that never changes. You play in a movie theater, then you play in a bowling alley, and then you play in a skating ring, and then you play in some dude's house.
And that's the chain.
And then that's a chain. It just will never end. One day it'll be a car wash.
So we'll have to turn to Lexington Down, and specifically Keith of Lexington Down, to be maybe like our correspondent when Violin really hits.
Yeah, let me know. I'm all.
We'll set it up. Aside from that show happening, you also have several other dates. Another one I wanted to pick out, February 23rd, Memories Lounge. That's in the Atlantic City area. I've heard you say it comes up as like Richland,
yeah.
MySpace page.
It's pretty much it's like right outside like Atlantic City, off a railroad track. It's like in the middle of nowhere.
Cool. Well, so lots of things happening with Lexington Down. The album, Partial Possession Claim, as we mentioned, very easy for you to pick up either at the show, online, wherever you feel comfortable. Bring that merch out to get all tagged up. Now we definitely don't want to leave without you playing, so we're going to hear from Lexington Down right now. This has been another edition of G-Rock Rising.
Yeah.